Hey, so you are trading, and sometimes it might feel lonely because other people just don't understand it. Sometimes it might feel hard at times. There's a lot going on in the market, and it is literally like you are getting on a roller coaster each day. Now, sometimes this roller coaster can be just uptrending, right? And you're like, okay. Sometimes it could just be range bound, right? It could just be going in one direction and it's going slow and it's like, okay, what's going on? Then sometimes it could just be on a decline, pulling back, aka selling, they're selling off, and it could go really fast and then you miss the move. Right. You didn't even get on the what did I say? Oh, roller coaster. You didn't even get on the roller coaster. Trading is very interesting. And I just want to offer some words of wisdom and plant some seeds to just help you on your journey. Because I have now been in the market for about 8 months, every open day. Every open day, I had a position open. Now, I may have taken that position that day, right? That trade, or it may have been a swing trade, but every day I've been learning. And one of my things is that I don't believe that it will take all day to learn something. Like it was even at school, like I'm like, oh, this is dragging out. Because I'm one of those people who will get out there, figure it out. God's gonna send me direction. I know God's gonna provide. And then I bump my head on some stuff because I'm learning on the go. But I'll learn it fast. And so I've learned this really fast to me in about 8 months. But in this time, I have made money. And then I've turned around and gave it right back. And so I'm always looking at just different things that I can continue to work on in me that just help me become a better investor, a better steward of the money that and this opportunity that God has given me. I actually look at this as just a blessing because I had been asking God for so long. I wanted to be in the financial world. I wanted to be in stocks. I wanted to be, doing things like that with investments. And this has been for just like I remember. And I also have the other side of me, not the other side, but just the side, the burden, the desire in me to just create ideas, create platforms, create products and services that literally will help others. And and it could be in various different ways. It could just be helping them like with their dream to provide a product and service that then serves others. Like that stuff lights me up. And because I've been doing it since I was a teenager, it doesn't feel hard to me. And I'm like, just, you're making this hard. And a lot of times it can be because of our circumstance, because of the way we're thinking about it, because of maybe you're wearing multiple hats. And so it can be challenging, but there's principles behind it. It can be easy and or simplified, I should say. It can be simplified because it could be but it can be simplified. So basically, I'm coming here today to help you navigate with trading by offering these seeds of wisdom. And so in our trading plan, we're going to have a whole nother plan that is about seeking God first. And so welcome to the Trading Garden. I am Denisha on a mission just to spread these words of wisdom, these seeds, and they're going to grow and you're going to continue to grow. And one of the things I see on YouTube is I'm just looking for somebody who's not always like make $1 million in a day. Now, we serve a God that can do exceedingly and abundantly all that we can imagine. Like we can't even imagine what God can do for us. However, we're also still having a human experience. We got our family, we got bills, we got all these other things that we have to make sure that we handle our responsibility, but we keep them in perspective. And so I'm applying this with trading. And so before I trade, there's personal things that I do, including seeking God, that I have to do. I'm just not going to trade that day. So that means what for me? I need to get up earlier. I need to do X, Y, Z. So I'm not going to share all of them with you, but I think it's important for you to have your set routine that invites God in because God's already there. God's looking at you. I mean, this is what I imagine. I imagine God looking at me and saying, you know, you prayed for that, right? Okay, I gave you this, but then you just gave the money right back. That's on you. You want to do this again? Because I'm merciful and I'm going I'm giving you grace. You want to do this again? Okay, let's go back in the next day. Let's do this. Okay. You know you don't need to hold that tray, right? You know you're not being a good steward, right? Like Holy Spirit, like I'm hearing this stuff like if you hold that tray, you know that a level's coming up. What internally is making you be like, let me hold this tray when the level is, you see the level, you see the obstacle coming, but yet you're trying to get through it to make more money. But guess what? It's on the way. I just need you to develop these habits so that you're going to be a good steward of what I'm providing you. So I know I'm going into a whole conversation, but the point is that God is giving you like this right here. I love working with clients, but I don't have to run any ads. I don't have to do anything but show up, trade the plan, and be nimble, right? Because the market's going to do what the market's going to do. However, it presents so many opportunities all throughout the day. I mean, there was a point in time where I'm like, I'm seeing at least $100 a day. I'm seeing more than that. But we also got our focus sometimes can just make us have a bias. And then we're seeing that, but then the other move done already passed. And we're like, oh, that was there too. Right. So when people talk about have a trading plan, like I actually have several. And I look at the market and say, okay, well, this is actually trending up. So let me pull this plan. Right. So a whole nother thing. But it's important to just be like, okay, what are some things that I'm gonna do before I get in this market that can help prepare me? Because when you wake up, you don't know what's about to. You don't know if your child gonna be. Most of the time, my kids are in a really good mood, but I got a 1-year-old, and sometimes she's waking up crying, or she just wants to be held, and I'm trying to get in these charts. So now I gotta like I'm up now early before everybody. I got about another hour to do these videos, and then I'm back in mommy mode, and then on the charts, and then trading, and then I'm so grateful because I've been asking God like this schedule. I want this schedule. I don't want to be on these charts all day. It was needed prior for me to learn about it. But now I hear like, okay, it's now for you to be off these charts because God has these ideas. God has these products, these services that now God needs you to go in the marketplace. God needs you to go build it. But you have to get past all the limiting things that are stopping you from being able to be prosperous in this and also to be able to keep it in perspective because what we don't want to do is turn this into a god, into an idol, into something that we are hoping for. Because what I say to man, I don't know what I say is once you're hoping, you're not trading. The moment I start hoping, I'm not trading no more. So when if I am in a position that is going in the direction that in the direction, right, where I'm in profit. If I don't have a stop loss and I'm hoping and I see those levels of sellers coming up, you better sell it if you don't want to end negative or put a trailing stop on there. So there's other things that you can do so that you are helping yourself navigate this as you're also becoming an even better person, right? As you're also refining and learning more about yourself. Because you can be the most giving person. And then you get in here and now greed, you start feeling greed, like, you know what I mean? You start feeling fear of missing out. Like there was a play yesterday. I know this play. I want to show it to you. Just go on Spy. Go on Spy yesterday, July 20, not July. Why am I in July? Okay, I'm gonna write July down. February, what's the day? Today is the 28th, so February 27th. And the gap on Spy finally closed. I had my alerts. I'm also on my goals of being done trading by 12:30. And I finished trading, went on about the day, and I'm like, nah, but one of my other things is that I will check, if there's a move or something like that that I'm thinking about, or so I see that's, I will check it, and if I'm able to, and it is actually a high probability, then I'll make that decision then. But what I'm doing my best to do is not be on these chores all day, and it's been working out. So sticking to your plan, but being nimble. But anyway, okay. So I set my alert went off, but now I'm back to like that fast moving back into motherhood, right? So I gotta get my son from school, I gotta take him to tutoring, he gotta go, he gotta change his clothes, so I'm checking in between, and by the time I check it again, it had entered the gap, and it's just and if anybody knows, if you know what I just did, then you know what that means. Like, it is smooth. It's just a easy, I don't know what I had to go back and look. It's coming like $3, right? By the time I'm seeing it, like it's an easy $3, like, and I mean easy. And then it kind of consolidates right there, kind of goes back and forth. Maybe comes up just a little bit to try to snatch somebody's stop loss, snatch that money, that liquidity, and then come on back down. And it's just a going. By the time I get him to the tutor, by the time I get him to the tutor, it's still there. It's still, it's still chilling, but it's going. That put would have been nice. That put would have been nice. I'm like, I'm like, prior when I'm on these charts throughout the whole day, I would have been able to catch this. This was a good one. But then it revealed to me, you're gonna just like, and it was on Spy. I'm like, okay, this is gonna happen again. It's gonna happen again, and you're gonna be ready. So we're gonna get ready right now, okay? All right. So this is what we want to do. We want to one seek God first. So trading for me is a blessing. Like it's such a blessing. Um, I am, and I must be a good steward with it. So in order to do that, we have our trading plans, we have our schedules, we have our checklist, we have our to-do list. We about to have a trading plan, but I'm seeking God, and God is walking with me because God's already there. God just wants you to invite into every single thing that you do. Like, in all your ways, acknowledge him, and God's gonna direct your path. Like God is gonna direct your path. And it's so cool because you're gonna be able to, it's not like do this. Right, God's not, I don't know about that, right? But I will get an idea, like, or something. I'll ask a good question, and then I'll wash dishes or something, or be just randomly doing something and get an answer, like call this person, or do this, or did you check here, or go open this and look here. I don't want to do this thing called living on earth without God. And so every single thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bring God in. And then who wants to listen, okay? And who doesn't, okay? And videos will be ready. videos will be here when you're ready. But for me in my house, we're gonna serve the Lord, okay? And we're gonna bring God into everything. I'm at least gonna equip them to learn about God, and then they're gonna have to do. They got their own journey. But at least I did what I was supposed to do. Okay, so while we are trading and while you're doing anything, while you're creating your business ideas, navigating your family, this can be applied there too. So we're gonna first have the mindset of, if I don't see God first, if I don't do these certain things first, and it's not being religious, nothing like that, it's being accountable, it's being obedient, it's having things in order. If I don't do these things first, I'm not gonna trade. And that depends on you. Something like that could take 10 minutes, it could take a couple hours. That's between you and God. I'm not gonna answer that for you. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna seek God first. We're gonna seek God first. What does that look like for you? Does that look like waking up in the morning, laying in the bed, talking to God, talking about your day, inviting God in, giving God the glory for waking you up, giving God the glory, just thanking God, showing gratitude, asking God, just like, please order my, not, well, I would say please, or whatever you want to say, like that's between you and God. But say, God, order my steps today. Like, I know that you are right here walking with me. I know that you have not forgotten about me. I know that you're here, and I acknowledge that, right? So have this conversation with God. It could be multiple things, but you have to figure out what is seeking God for you. For me, it's making sure that I'm reading, I'm in the Bible, I'm making sure that I'm understanding what I'm reading. And our understanding is still limited compared to God. So I'm asking for understanding and guidance in that. And then there's some family things that I do. And only now for the last 3 weeks, because I had a baby almost now 2 years ago. And it's interesting because it was like a year just around the clock. And still now it's kind of like that, but now that she's older, it's evolving. And sometimes we can be in seasons where it feels like harder, or it's beautiful, but yet you're in doing things that you weren't doing prior. Your life just doesn't look the same. And it can make us feel certain types of ways, or it can empower us. Like, I was so grateful to have my daughter that I used a lot of that time to build. Like, I was like, first off, I'm not going because I'm not bringing my baby out. I am that mother, like, I'm not going. And then I also was like, okay, she's up. I'm about to listen to this podcast. I'm about to start writing this book. I'm about to start cleaning this area up and getting it ready for the next 6 months later, or whatever. All right. So I went into, this is a prime time for me to do whatever it is I need to do. Now, in between, it had things, because I had just not felt like working out and things like that. But the last 3 weeks, one of my things in my plan to get back to that was to make sure I'm getting up and working out. And so I've always done things, but like, I want to get back to me. That would work out, like in the gym. And so we have some items in the garage. And so that's gonna be the gym, right? Okay. So basically we're gonna seek God first. Okay, so in Matthew 6:33 it says, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Begin each day with God before entering the market. Your financial success basically is a byproduct of your spiritual alignment. And so the thing about it is, people who have no good intentions, people who are evil, they're gonna make money too. So I'm not talking about them, right? They can make money. They'll be able to make all kind of money. You see that in the world. We won't even go there yet. But we want to do it God's way, because God is literally doing some amazing things in our life, and we got to be a good steward of that. But we need to seek God first so that we have an understanding of what God wants us to do. And often, like, not oftentimes, but oftentimes you might feel like, especially when you're trading, because it's just you, it's you staring at these charts. And sometimes you like the eyes can be deceiving, like you're forming patterns. And then also there are some patterns that form. The thing about it is it's easy to get drawn into it, to get to lose perspective, to be, you know what I mean, like to get lost in things. And so me and my husband had talked about that the other day because I'm very ambitious. Like I will get in something and I'm about to get it done. I'm tunnel vision. And literally it's felt like light, like I'm like coming out of the tunnel. Because I also believe in preparing and preparation and being a good steward. So I'm cool with not going out and doing stuff. Like I'm cool with not doing like we about to be in this for 6 months, 3 months, one day, 2 days. Like this is between you and God. Stuff don't have to be hard and drag out, drawn out. And a lot of my trading journey that was drawn out so far on that 8 months because of some things that I was doing. Because every day I was seeing money in the charts and opportunities, but it was some things that I was doing. So I'm like, okay, I got to continue to work on myself so that I can be not just a better trader, but a better person, like a better wife, a better mom, a better child of God. Okay. So we're going to seek God first. We're going to begin the day with God. You decide what that looks like. Talk to God about what that is. And you will know if God's okay with it. You will know. Okay, we're going to be a steward over our money and not idolatry because whew, again, we don't hope in the market. We hope in God. That's the only thing we hope in. We hope in God. We do not hope in the market. And again, once you feel yourself hoping, you are not trading. And that's how I feel right now. You're not, because there's been plenty of times I was holding on to some trades, hoping it's going to turn around, and it never did until I let it go. And then it turned around. It could be a week later, 3 days later, 2 days later, but I still have time in the contract, but I let it go. But I also have time to gain. So if I did still hold it, it's not going to be the value it would have been when I first saw it, and I could have accepted profits and didn't take it. So that anytime I'm in a trade and I start feeling a certain type of way, I say, am I being a good steward right now? Being a good steward looks like having your stop loss on so you can preserve and protect the profits that you made. And also so that if it turns against you, you can just get out. You know, if it's $20, $30, 100, it just depends on how much you're risking and then what that stop loss looks like to you because you might have to adjust it because it's at a level that you need to see like it at that level first before. And so you really don't want your stop loss in the level. You don't want your stop loss before the level. So that's something that you have to play. Or maybe you do want your stop loss before the level. So you don't even have to get caught up in that, like that ping pong and all that mess, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You can be in consolidation for hours. You can be in consolidation for months. It's just that in between, it might rally or pull back. You know, you got these smaller moves. But when you look at SPY's been in consolidation now for what, like 2 months? I don't even remember, but it's been a time. It's been like if you look at it, just go to SPY, SPY. Okay, so we're going to be a good steward over our money. So we're going to go to Proverbs 3, 9, 10. Honor thy Lord with thy substance and with the first fruit of thine increase. So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with new wine. And then 1 Timothy 16 says, for the love of money is the root of all evil. And this is the thing. So money's not evil. Money's not evil. Like, but it is some things that's in us in our flesh that can keep us from getting to the goals, the dreams, the things that God, the prosperity, whatever, the things that God has for us. And so greed, right? Like that can stop you from making consistent money in it. You know, you like wanting what other people have instead of being grateful. Like I think about this. One of my jobs that I had in the past, it paid like $200 a day. I'm there for 8 hours. Sometimes it was a little longer. Sometimes it might be a little short. It just depends on what was going on that day, how much the workload was. But literally like $200 a day, $1,000 a week, $4,000 a month. So the perspective, like, okay, if you come here and you make $200 a day, you just replace that. And most time that $200, you might be watching the charts for a while, but it might have only took like a minute. It might have only took like 10 minutes. Now, in the grand scheme of things, it might be in a 3 or 4 hour session, 2 hour session, 1 hour session. But when you made the profits, it didn't take all day to get it. Like it really could have been a 1 minute move, a 10-second move. So perspective is key because you're going to be hearing people online, $1 million in a day, $100,000. You don't understand what they had to risk to make that. And when you get to that point, you have already developed those internal skills. You've already become that person so that when you do reach that level, you'll be able to keep it. You'll be able to now go out, go forth, and build what God needs you to build for his kingdom. Right? You'll be able to create that generational wealth that you see. You will be able to be the giver that you continually want to evolve and be more of. So you're going to be able to do all of that. And it's just key that you develop it. So that's why I'm still early in my trading journey, but I'm excited for this shift that I've had. And I definitely want to thank some people because I'm not on this journey alone. And so it's interesting. So we'll be talking about that too. So we want to be a good steward of we want to seek God first. We want to be a good steward of our money. We don't want this to turn into an idol because we're going to hope in God and not the market. All right. So number 3, we're going to have faith over fear. Okay. So we're talking about this walking on water. Okay. So in Matthew 14:28-31, and Peter answered him and said, Lord, if it be thou, bid me come unto thee on the water. And he said, Come. And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. But when he saw the wind boisterous, he was afraid and began to sink. He cried out, saying, Lord, save me. Now he saved him. But this is the thing, if he kept his eyes on Jesus. Now, it can be interesting when we're seeing these the wind, the storm, we're seeing all these people behind, we're seeing all of this stuff. And it can be discouraging because we're like, oh my goodness, how am I going to handle this? But this is the thing, stay focused on God. Stay focused because you're gonna be hearing people say, why don't you just do this? God, just do this. Okay. And God will send you people in your life that will give you some encouragement, give you some resources, and speak a word to you that could help you. But the thing about it is we must stay focused on God, right? And God's word. And then God also gave us Jesus and the Holy Spirit for us in this blueprint, the Bible, to be able to navigate, to be able to know that the wind is there, right? That these troubles are there, that these circumstances, that this is happening, but I am not alone. And man, if he would have just kept his eyes on Jesus, like just kept his eyes, like he wouldn't have sank. And it's interesting because It's just interesting. I think about times where it was and how God just covered and preserved me. Like, mm. So what we don't want to do is get in this market and start sinking in drawdown, start sinking in, you know, being scared, not even pushing the button, right? Being just scared. We don't want to get in here. And now we're seeing all this news about DeepSeek. And, NVIDIA had their earnings this week. And even though they still did good, the market it just kind of flatlined. But if you could have looked over the last couple of weeks, it's almost like they was already pricing in that for this to occur. So even yesterday after it was a lot of like it was a down market. But in the down market, it was still opportunities to make money. And so somebody else could be looking at this like, oh, it's a red day. It's now I can understand if you got shares, but now if you learn how to do, some options, then now you can hedge against it. You can be getting money while it's going down and you still got your portfolio that you're saving for, not saving, but you're holding for how many years. I am not a financial advisor. This is not advice. I'm just here for entertainment purposes and to spread these seeds of wisdom to help you on this trading journey. So we want to make sure that we are stepping out on faith. If we think about Peter, step out on faith like Peter, right? Because we got to keep our eyes on Jesus and not the markets up and down. Fear can cause us to sink, but faith keeps us walking. Right? That fear of missing out. Okay, I gotta push the button. I gotta get in. But you didn't just see this level right here. Like, you didn't just see that. Like, wait. Like, I'm talking to me. Like, wait. And just not seeing, like, really how to navigate the different time frames, too. So you can really see when this candle closed, what was it forming? What was it doing before you got in that trade? And so that's a bulk of my trades right there really just being on the wrong time frame, not letting the candle close to see. Because if I would have waited a couple more seconds or a couple more minutes, I would have seen that this actually is not going in the direction. I could at least had that confirmation and then got in. And so some of that is just not waiting, not being patient. But also, we don't want to just start getting and pushing buttons. And then now we see that we're losing money. We're holding trades. Now we're sinking. We're up. We're losing. We got our risk tolerance, whatever it is. Maybe it's $25, $50, $100, $1,000, whatever your risk tolerance is, whatever your stop loss is, or your number. Or maybe it's down when I'm down 10% or 15% or 2%, whatever it is. When you get there, you definitely want to check your levels. But what if you say, okay, well, I'm gonna hold it. All right, I'm down 10%. Okay, now, okay, pop back up, pop back up. Oh, it was a fake out. Okay, so now I am going to hold it some more. Okay, but I'm down 200 now, down 230, down 400 now. $400. I could have just let it go at $100 and kept my other $300 and just traded another day or traded, you know, So we have to be good stewards of this because we can start sinking when now we're putting our eyes on making that money, pushing the button, getting in versus Jesus, right? Because God would have told us, like we would have been in our plan, we would have said, I'm gonna be a good steward. And I know for this one, my risk tolerance is $25. It's $100. It's 10%. It's 2%. And I'm gonna stick with that because that's what I'm gonna do. That's being a good steward, right? And so we have to be good stewards with this. We're gonna have faith over fear. The next one is we're gonna be trading with a kingdom mindset. So Proverbs 13:22 says, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. So your trading journey is not just about you. It's about generational impact. It's about serving God's kingdom and managing wealth responsibly. And so it's easy to be like, yeah, I'm building up this money. I'm throwing this money for me, right? But man, like have something bigger than that. Because when we seek God first, all these other things are going to be added unto us. And it feels like I I'm not going to tell you everything because I also believe that you don't. I'm sharing this with you, but it's not your business. Just like some things you do is not my business. But I've felt like I've been in the wilderness learning the same lesson over and over and over and over again. And I'm just at the point where I don't want to keep trying to learn this lesson. Let me just do it. Let me just be obedient and do it. Okay. And it can be, and I don't even know you. I don't know what you have going on. Maybe you're a caregiver. Maybe you have, you're working multiple jobs. Maybe you are, a new mom, a new dad, right? You're navigating now having a beautiful baby. And my thing is like now my daughter, she's real aware. Like I cannot be on these chores. I'm about to, I don't, I'm not, I refuse. Like I refuse to miss certain things about her being now almost two. Like I refuse it. And some things I might be working something up, but overall, she's gonna feel my presence. She's gonna know. And God wants that same thing. God wants that time with us. And so we can't allow certain things like us now being in trading to keep us from our time with God and to keep us from having that mindset. Our mindset, it needs to be beyond our mind, right? It needs to be beyond our circumstance. It needs to be beyond anything that could feel like it's stopping us. We got loved ones that don't understand what we do. Like whatever is going on in your life, know that God's got you, and it's going to feel lonely at times. But this is the thing, like there's communities that you can get in where you'll start finding other people that are they are heading in the same direction. Now, this is the thing, you gotta check the fruit. And you also can't turn that group now into the end all be all. But it's a resource, it's a tool to be able to use. But keeping our eyes on God and having that kingdom mindset is going to help you. And so it's like, do not despise small beginnings. If you saw, look, there's some moves that I did, like some trades I took that the profit would have only been $10. The profit was only, that's all it gave me in that time. The moment now going forward, but the moment I was seeing it was just that, like now, take it, get in and get out, reposition yourself, and then get back in a new trade when the time is right, when it makes the most probability sense. Because sometimes that move would have only gave you that. It would have only gave you that. And thank God it gave you that so that you can get out. Like, it is no joke because if you could have made $10 versus losing $100 versus losing 15% versus losing that, like, because the market can change. Like you did your swing, you did your setups, and some big news comes out, and you wake up, and now it's decline. Like that's why stops are important. That's why, of course, with your options contracts, it has a set amount that that you risk, but being cognizant of like how many contracts you're buying or how many shares you're buying or just having a plan. So I want to encourage you to definitely seek the knowledge and have that kingdom mindset. Because again, we have some limiting beliefs that are going to challenge us, that are going to come out. Anything that you're dealing with, let me tell you something. Anything that you didn't even know about is going to come out when you trade. You can think you're the kindest person. And when you trade, something else come out, right? I'm just saying you don't know. You don't know. Because now sometimes you can be in fight or flight mode, like, oh my goodness, like it's the trade is going to get me. What do I do? Get out. Do not let this draw down because we have to protect our profit. We have to have a kingdom mindset. You're going to, like yesterday, I won't say that. I won't say that. I'll share that for another video. But the thing about it is you want to have this kingdom mindset. Okay, so dive into that more. Basically, the kingdom mindset looks at building generational wealth. It looks at serving God's kingdom. It looks at managing wealth responsibly. Because God got stuff He wants you to build. God got stuff He wants you to do. It's not just you being on the charts all day trading. No, that's a vehicle. That is a tool for the things that God wants you to do. So that's important for you to do those things. Okay. So the next one is we're going to be discipline and risk management. So I've already talked about this some, but if we go to Luke 16:10, he that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much. And then Proverbs 21:5, the thoughts of the diligent tend only to plentifulness, but of every one that is hasty only to want. So we got to make sure that we are we have a plan, a trading plan that is a good strategy, right? We have good strategies and that we do those strategies. But again, there's times where you might have to pivot because again, the strategy is set up, but again, news comes out. So that no longer works. So get out the position, reposition. You see it's falling, right? Now my thoughts is okay, my next plan is the trend is down. So does this make sense for me to get back in and go the opposite direction? Like, is it enough of the reward to risk? Like, does this make sense? So you got to go through your plan and then be nimble, be flexible with it, but not be reckless with it. Okay, so we want to be disciplined. We want to, and one of my things was, I'm gonna wait and share that too. I'm gonna wait and share that, but let me just say that making sure that I'm not trying to recover. Because there's been times where I was down and I'm like, and I have, and it's recovered and been in profit when I could have just really, when it hits that level and I check some other areas and it still looks like it's pointing the opposite direction, just get out. Just get out. So being a good steward, so your discipline and risk management. Another one thing is mastering emotions and self-control. This is one. So Galatians 5:22-23 says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. So being patient, having peace, having self-control in trading is important, right? We have our emotional reactions to losses and to things that can occur, but also it's gonna be times where the trade goes in a different direction. Like, so we just got to be able to react and have those tools, the knowledge to be able to know what to do. Or and also to do may just be to sit out. Maybe like I just don't trade right now. And so we have to be okay with that. So that's also to not trade is a skill, is a discipline. Right. But you also got to ask yourself questions like, why am I not trading? Am I scared? Am I not wanting to do this? Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you see a setup and you're like, you know what, I'm already up for today. And this is more riskier. And yeah, I want to get in like everybody else. Yeah, I want to purchase before. No, 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 no. Don't do it. Because now all those profits that you just made can literally be snatched back from you and now you're just giving it back to the market. And so we want to make sure again that we're having that discipline and risk management. We want to make sure that we're monitoring and like our emotions, self-control. And me, I be wanting to just be left alone. Leave me alone. I'm already, managing other things whether I'm taking care of my daughter or doing other things or making food or doing something else. I just be wanting to be left alone for it. So sometimes I might be like, huh, what? Leave me me on these what? And so for me, it's practicing even more, just being kind. Cause I'll be like, now you see me on these charts. And then sometimes it just like it seems like it would seem like a lie. If this would seem like really all the time I come in here. But yes, for some reason, when you're coming in here, I am right here in this trade trying to make a decision. Or I am waiting for it to break this level. I just want my concentration, right? I just want to concentrate on it. And then like, really, there's always something going on anymore. Really, I walk in here every time there's yeah. So managing that because we also don't want to get so sucked in what we're doing that we're missing the big picture. We're missing all the beauty around us. We're missing this abundant garden because now on this one trade, we focus on this one trade when all these other stocks have just would have been easier to trade for the day. I thank God because I've been in spy. I chose, I don't know, I chose spy at an interesting time because it is in this big consolidation, but like it's almost like yesterday. I'm like, oh, this is how I can trade spot. Like I really could have just been trading gaps on spot. Like I really could have been just doing it. But anyway, it's giving me things to look for. And then once it goes back on the uptrend or even intraday, there's moves in there. And it's interesting. But we're gonna master our emotions. We're gonna have self-control. We're gonna be patient and kind and have boundaries and just be and communicate. And then also, if we can do our plan where we get off the charts earlier, then that's going to help us too, right? It's going to help us. Okay. So we got also trust in God's timing over the market. But there's a lot of fake outs and all kind of drama stirred up. The news is saying all kind of stuff. And sometimes it's like, that didn't even happen. Or that happened. So there's times where it could say the SPY went to an all-time high. But that don't mean it stayed at an all-time high. It could have hit that all-time high right when the market opens. At the end of the day, anytime it could have hit it, and then it could have took it right back down. Whether it's a couple dollars, $1, three, it could have took it right back down. So it ended on the low, and it's interesting because there's just a lot of fake outs. There's a lot of it. Then there's a lot of stuff that actually happened, and so you just gotta be, have your risk tolerance together, okay? Because we just don't know. Again, don't hope in the market. Hope in God. Hope in God and not the market. Okay. So we're going to trust God's timing. So Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end." So God has already worked this out for you. And again, trading is a tool. There's another way, another thing on your journey. And one of the things that I'm looking forward to is even more helping entrepreneurs be able to incorporate trading and then have it where it's not causing you to sacrifice anything with your family, your health, none of that stuff, right? Matter of fact, health, I need to be, thank you, because I should have been drinking this. I was going to cause you to just be like, okay, I'm going to trust in God's timing. And I'm going to learn, I'm going to learn, I'm going to continue to develop, and I'm going to trust God on this journey. I'm going to trust God on the journey. And trusting God, you gotta put forth the things. You gotta have your disciplines. It's those things of we don't want to force anything. We don't want to rush it. However, the time frame that's between you and God. God might want you to create something in 7 days. God might want you to create it today, right now. Go take an hour and go make this. God might want you to do it, and then the next couple of days you're editing it, loading it, getting it in, or He might want you to do it today. That obedience is important. And so when we look at God's timing and how perfect it is, like just look over your life. Just look over your life. We don't want to rush it. We don't want to force it. Don't want to be impatient. And so when you find yourself, you will know because you'll be like, you have this anxiety about it. No, then let me take a breath. Let me go out in nature. Let me just enjoy. Then let me come back on here and realign. Because also we have to evaluate. Maybe this is not for you. Maybe it's not. But if you're in it and you're still going and you're still watching this video, then it's important that you just continue at it and have this plan, have this in mind. I don't even want to call it a plan. I just want to call it trading God's way. All right. And it might be something missing. I'll continue to add and refine it. But again, we're not trusting the market, right? We're trusting God's timing over the market. And God knows exactly, like he already had like the whole plan worked out for us. And we're living it out. And I'm excited about that. Like we're living out God's plan. Like, does that excite you? Like it excites me. Like I get to discover. And I'm kind of going off a little bit, but our purpose is to follow God. Our purpose is not to be the best entrepreneur, is not to be, you know, um, whatever job you do. That's not our purpose. That's part of what we do. That's part of our activity. That's part of our assignment. That's what we use to be able to go out and make disciples. Like that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be doing it. And so us being able to come in the market, utilize this resource, go in the garden, okay? We got all this abundance. God told us not to eat from this tree, okay? Not this one. So stay away from this greed tree. Stay away from this FOMO tree, okay? Stay away from this self-limiting, right? I don't know if I just added more trees. Anyway, Lord, help refine what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that there is a section of things that we are not supposed to eat. We are not supposed to be waking up like we defeated every day, okay? Not supposed to be doing that. And so we are supposed to trust in God. And there are systems that will help us as we're navigating trading. That's going to help us. And we have to put those systems in place. So one of them is trusting in God. Now, it's also accepting the winners and the losers. Because the losers should have taught you something that's going to accelerate you into your next. Yes, you may have lost that money. Yes, I'm looking at myself. Okay. But you can make it back. And this is the thing. You want to keep that, you want to minimize that so that you're not always on the defeats trying to make it back. Right? We want to step into this piece, this abundance, and it's important for us to be like to trust God and know that even in the winning and are these different seasons that we're experiencing, that God is right there and that we're being refined, we're being prepared to be able to handle, to be able to steward what is next. So get excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. Okay. So you don't know what I've been through. I'm excited. Okay. So now we have the heart posture of a God-led trader. And I don't even know if I want to say trader. The heart posture of being God-led in whatever activities that we're doing. So Proverbs 3:5-6 says, trust in the Lord with all thy heart and lean not unto thy own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he shall direct your path. So before you're trading, you're acknowledging God, you're thanking God, right? Every trade, every decision, you're going to commit it to God. You're going to give God the glory. You're going to give God the glory in everything. Whether you profit or not, it's in his hands. I'm even like, oh, Monday I made like $44. Now look, I made like $125 in like, I don't know, like 2 minutes. Then I decided my goal was to be off them charts, right? But I said, you know what? This other one looks like a good trade to take. I went down my list. Okay. And I got in this trade. So I'm excited about it. I'm like, yeah, this is it. But what I did not do was go to a higher time frame, which I should have done, confirm it. I jumped in too soon before that candle closed. It went against me. And faster this time because I got more contracts. I'm down. I'm in drawdown. I could let it go, but I didn't. Once again, God said, you gonna sit in this. And because it expires today anyway, you gotta let it go. And I'm literally like, I'm tired of this. I'm not doing this no more. I'm not doing this no more. I'm gonna have to sit in it. And it felt horrible. But the only reason why I did it was because that's why you gotta learn your levels. Because after that initial, like, oh man, I'm in this drawdown, and drawdown me, I'm negative. I'm like, levels, long as it keep closing below the next candle, I'm gonna keep staying in it. Now, this is not advice again, but what I saw, I'm gonna keep. So I did that, and it ended up going back in profit, $44. That was the best $44. That was the best $44. That's good. That was the best $44. So moral of the story is we're gonna thank God with everything. We're gonna thank God. We're gonna give God the glory. And somebody gonna say that's too excessive. Look, that's you. Whatever you think, whatever you think. But for me, this is I'm gonna give God the glory. And so we're gonna do a recap. There's some things to daily do. Just write these down. The daily practice for God centered, for having this God centered life. Let's say that. And that as you're incorporating trading, you're incorporating it. So one, we're going to pray. We're going to meditate before trading. So a Bible verse is Philippians 4, 6 through 7. We're going to keep the Bible on our desk. Like we're going to be able to read through it as we're waiting on, some trades, or we're going to just keep it on our desk, like as a reminder. Like maybe you put it on your, your stand, whatever, but keep the Bible close. That's Psalms 119, 105. You can read that. We're going to trade diligently, not impulsively. So we're going to make sure that we're orderly, right? We're keeping things, we're checking things, we're, knowing our levels, that wisdom behind it. So we're going to look at Proverbs 16:32. We're going to seek wisdom and discernment, James 1:5. We're going to give everything, including trading, to God. That's Psalms 37:5. We're going to tithe daily. We're going to thank God daily. We're going to give daily. And you decide what that looks like, right? So Malachi 3:10. We're going to go to God. And so definitely write those down as a way for your daily practice with walking with God and seeking God and doing this before you before you trade. Before you trade. And we don't have to make this type of stuff hard. All right. So just to go back over what I went through in the video. So being able to do this, we're going to seek God first. We're going to be a steward over our money, and not turn this into an idol. We're going to have faith over fear, thinking about, walking on water, right? We're going to have faith over fear as we're navigating the stock market. We're going to be trading with a kingdom mindset. A kingdom mindset. We're not going to just be using our limiting beliefs, right? We're going to go beyond that. We're going to we're going to read and learn about what God says about us, what God wants us to do. And we're going to bring that, right? We're gonna embody it. We're gonna learn that. We gotta renew our mind every day because we're gonna be dealing with all kind of stuff. Like you wake up, it's new news, all kind of stuff. And you don't want to not know about it. You want to know about it. Then you also want to go to the word and be like, no, but my heavenly Father says this. And I'm aware of that. So let me make sure because I'm still responsible and I still got family to take care. So let me go and make sure I have because I'm still human. Right? I still I'm operating in flesh. right? So make sure you handle your responsibilities and utilize like the news and other stuff that's going on to be able to inform you, but not to cause you to go in like fear where you're not doing anything, right? Or where you're just thinking like, oh, there's just no hope. Let me just turn the computer on and let me just go hot because there's just no hope. Like, no, there's hope. Hope in God. Hope in God. Hope in God. God's gonna direct your path. God's already directing your path. It's just if you're listening, right? So we have to make sure that we're listening and trading. And in every aspect, but I'm using this for trading. So we got faith over fear. I'm gonna trade with a kingdom mindset again. Think beyond just our limited, like think beyond just the conversation you just had. You talk to somebody about what you do, or and they was negative about it, right? You have to literally like block. They say something to you, it has to bounce right back off of you. You don't have time for it to go internally, where now you are questioning everything. Like when you when you really process working, building a business, and you really navigate the stock market and you start trading and you see that you can make income like this, like you can build generational wealth. This is such a blessing that everybody not gonna understand because it's been made like that it's so hard. Like when I was trying to learn early, like trying to navigate it, it was like other people was like made it like it was so hard. And it is, but also it's you because I'm seeing money in the charts every day. It's just me if I accept it. So will you accept it? But the thing about it is we have to think beyond just that and not turn it into an idol. We want to have a kingdom mindset. We want to be disciplined. We want to have our risk management in place, which I'm looking at myself, risk management in place, which I am very disciplined, but bold. But I just learned, okay, you want to let the runner run? You want to go ahead and stay in this play, it's on momentum. Make sure you just got your trailing stop on, right? So, or maybe just get out, accept the profits because you see a level is coming. You don't want to get caught up in that back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It just won't move. And now your premium is burning. And now what was more money earlier in the day is no longer worth that because time decay, right? So anyway, okay. Mastering emotions and self-control. So when we're doing this, we're having love, we're having peace, we're having joy. I'm actually about to get off because now I gotta go in. I'm gonna go in exercise and then get into mommy and wife mode. Then I'll be back on the charts trading this morning. But we want to master our self-control and just really be operating out of love and also communicate. Hey, I'm gonna be doing this for this and that. I really need some focus. And then I'm gonna just do this, and then after that, I'm gonna be off, right? So having that communication, trusting God's timing over the market, having a heart, trusting God's timing. Because again, you can make money in both directions. You can make money if it's going sideways. Like it's just about learning those things. And the great thing about it is you can practice in the Sims, but I like to practice and then go right into the market and do it. Like, yeah. Because and I like to have the practice as close to the real that it would be too. So that I can really make sure I'm understanding it. But definitely practice. You can at least start practicing. But anyway, you want to have a heart posture of being God led. So you're going to commit everything to God. You're going to give God the glory. It says, in all your way, acknowledge Him, and He shall direct your path. You're going to give God all, you're going to acknowledge God. You're going to give God all the glory. And yeah. So this is Denisha. I'm on a mission to spread these words, which are seeds of wisdom on this trading journey. So again, welcome to the trading garden. And I'm just happy to be on this journey. And so I'm documenting my process because in a year and 6 months, it's already been 8 months. So I'm very grateful for this opportunity. And I want to be able to provide something that gives some insight to help you on this training journey because it can feel sometimes like you're alone. It can feel like, like it's hard. It can feel like, it's just so much going on. It can be overwhelming. Once we like really just try to weed out all the noise, once we start pruning the garden, which is like us, like being able to just refine, learn more things about ourselves, and be aware of it. Sometimes it don't feel too good, right? To learn that you do this and that, right? This is how you it don't feel good when you learn those things about yourself. But once you learn them and you're aware of them, then you can now continue to just be a better person. Because God got some big things for you. God does not want you on these shorts all day. God does not want you just to be now drawn to this where you're not building what God wants you to build, which is gonna be amazing. But you gotta go forth in it. And the blessing is a good blessing. A good thing is that God is gonna give you, He's giving you a means to make income, to build wealth while you're out there doing God's business. And definitely watch it because you get out here in this internet world, and then it'll be people who will like try to prey on you, scam you, all kind of stuff, and tell you other things. But just remember that God is with you, and it's about keeping a perspective and having, some things in place. So I hope this could help you. I know it's going to help at least somebody. It's helping me have this perspective as I'm navigating it, right? Because there's going to be some wolves out there. And then there's also a lot of stuff going on in the market that's trying to fake you out, trick you. And so we got to make sure that there's profits in there that we can get. We got them. We do our due diligence with that on the back end. And then we are off to doing things that God needs us to do, raising our beautiful family, right? Building that product and service, being a light into the world and being able to do that. And then without that, man, it don't feel good when you're trying to build your dream and the bank account ain't matching it. But this is the thing. We have a God that will supply all of our needs, right? We have a God that will be there with us. We have a God that loves us and wants us to prosper. But a lot of times it's us, all the time, it's us that hinders, right? It is us that's doing it. It's nobody else's fault. It's us. Now, something might have occurred in the past, or somebody else may have did certain things. But when it comes down to it, we now have to move forward and can't let that anything else stop us from moving forward. God got big things. And the big thing could be something that just impacts your family. But God got you. God's gonna tell you everything step by step. 'Cause if God told us everything at once, we would be so overwhelmed. We wouldn't be like, I'm not doing it. I gotta do this, and this. Like, I gotta do all this before I get to this. That's what's gonna happen to me. I don't know if I want to go through that, God. God's like, I'm right here with you. I'm right here with you. So I'm Denisha on a mission, spreading words, seeds of wisdom on your trading journey. And remember, God's got you. Put this stuff in place. Put this in place. These are life lessons, like to help you. We go back and read those Bible verses. Ask God for other verses. Like, that's the thing about it. Like, when you're open to God, you start being able to discover, you'll be inspired. Like, God's gonna direct your path. But we have to be open to it and bring God into everything, which is why I'm coming on here about bringing God into trading. And this is a great opportunity. I mean, think about the people how many people how many people that's actually trading or that have told you that they trade. Like, think about that. Like, you have a great opportunity. We don't want to squander it. We don't want to like misuse it. All right. All right. Have the best day, right? And know that God's got you. All right. Welcome to the Trading Garden. I'll be back with another video. And again, I am Denisha, spreading some words and seeds of wisdom to help you continue to grow in your goals and investing and being a creator and trading. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.